Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to StrapiConf. Thank you for being here. We have some exciting news to share with you today, and many opportunities for you to learn, network, and collaborate with other members of the Strapi community. First, I'd like to acknowledge the conflict in Ukraine. On behalf of the Strapi team, we want to express our support to those in our community who are personally impacted. We'd also like to thank Anastasia from the Strapi team and the motion designers from GapC Studio who actively participated in the organization of this event while their country, Ukraine, is going through terrible times. All of our thoughts go to them, their families, and their country. Our mission at Strapi is to empower millions of people to share and manage content. But content management complexity is growing exponentially. Public-facing websites are just the tip of the iceberg. If you look underneath the surface, you will find a long tail of use cases, such as landing pages, podcast apps, comparators, quizzes, knowledge bases, and many other internal tools and apps. The number of devices is skyrocketing. According to recent market data, the IoT install base is forecasted to grow 3 times faster than the number of non-IoT devices by 2025. Even the way to build a website keeps changing with new front-end frameworks challenging the status quo. As the number of platforms increases, the number of formats evolves. Stories, podcasts, games, videos, chatbots, events, you name it. Also, the number of sources is also growing as the content is more siloed than ever. The products you sell are in e-commerce CMSs like Shopify or BigCommerce. The assets you use are stored in digital asset management platforms like Cloudinary or Conto. Last but not least, content management is no longer just for content editors. CMSs need to work first and foremost for the end users, but also the customers, employees, and external contributors. Companies need to think about the total experience that meets the need of all stakeholders. More devices, more formats, more sources, and more stakeholders, all combined lead to more complexity. You, as creators of these projects, have to go through this every day. No proprietary SaaS, opinionated CMS, or monolithic DXP can cover all of these use cases. They will prevent you from building the project you want to develop. The future of content management is composable. Imagine a world where you could pull from any device, in any format, content that is connected to various services and co-created by hundreds of people. Our vision goes far beyond the headless CMS. We're building an open, composable content platform. The journey has already started. Strapi is open source and by far the most customizable headless CMS. But Strapi wouldn't be what it is today without you. To cover all of this growing content management complexity and make sure every developer benefits from the large community we are all a part of, we're going to build faster together. This is why we released Strapi V4 back in December. While everyone noticed the new look of Strapi V4, it's important to mention that most of the innovation is actually under the hood. Thanks to its new database layer, query engine, plugin API, and design system, Strapi is the first CMS to successfully deliver a consistent user experience to make third-party plugins look and feel like they are an integral part of the product. With more than 43,000 stars on GitHub, 700 contributors, and more than 5 million downloads, Strapi is the fastest growing headless CMS. Together with all the Strapi community members and contributors, we are unlocking the creation of a massive and open ecosystem. There are already more than 400 plugins and providers available on NPM. They are being downloaded more than 600,000 times every month. From GraphQL to authentication, API analytics, monitoring, SEO, or digital asset management, these plugins and integrations enable you to instantly add new features to your projects. If you are wondering where to find the best Strapi plugins or where to showcase the plugins you've created, we've got good news. We recently announced the launch of Strapi Market, the official marketplace listing all Strapi plugins. To tell you more about Strapi Market, I'm pleased to invite Emily to this virtual stage. Emily, take it away.
Thank you, Pierre, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. As Pierre mentioned, we launched Strapi Market a few weeks ago. Thanks to the team for the hard work, of course, but today I would like to thank you for submitting so many plugins. As we speak, there are more than 40 plugins already on Strapi Market, with over 50,000 downloads, and I know it's only the beginning. I would like to thank all our technology partners and give a special shout out to Mux, and in particular Eric Peña, who created an amazing plugin to upload, find, manage and preview Mux assets within Strapi. Search, and especially Charlotte, for building a great plugin to add the users' collections to Search. Gatsby, for teaming up with us on a source plugin to integrate Gatsby and Strapi. I would also like to thank our agency partners for creating fantastic plugins. Virtus Lab, who already submitted their navigation and comments plugins, which are getting in average 1,000 downloads every week. Notum, who just released a stunning content versioning plugin, very much requested by the community and customers. Webio, who developed a plugin that allows you to publish or unpublish any collection type in the future. And of course, I don't want to forget the wonderful community members who create and submit plugins every day. Mati, Bose, Thibaut, Sasha, Vanessa, Daedalus and all the others. Thank you all for your contribution to the Strapi open source community. When building this marketplace, we focused on 3 principles. First, security. It's crucial that our users know that they can safely use any plugin they would find on Strapi Market. That's why our team always does a security check before displaying anything. Then, quality. We review the code and the design of the plugins to make sure Strapi users have the best and most consistent experience. And we add a validation check to the ones following all of our guidelines. Last but not least, openness. We indeed want to make sure anyone can submit and suggest new plugin ideas. So now we have it. A place for the Strapi ecosystem to share and find new integrations. Our team is going to work hard to improve it and create the best experience possible for every user and contributor. In the meantime, I think Raphael has something to tell you. So, Raph, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Emily, and thank you all for the amazing plugins you've already shared. Today, I'd like to show you how serious we are about getting you up and running with the best plugins. Introducing the in-app marketplace. Everything you love about the marketplace directly in Strapi. Now you can find all the plugins you need right in the app. Here, I'm looking for a way to generate a sitemap for my blog. So let's search for it. This one looks like what I need. And even better, it's been verified. Now I just have to copy the install command, clicking on this button, and paste it in my terminal. Done. I can see the plugin has been properly installed and is ready for use. How great is that? We found and installed a plugin in just a few seconds. This new home is only the beginning to make Strapi truly awesome. Our goal is for plugins to be seamlessly integrated in your daily workflows, and it starts here and today with the in-app marketplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Raph. Okay, so there is one more highly awaited feature that we started to work on this quarter. What is Strapi missing to take customization to the next level? You guessed it, custom fields. It's not fully ready, but it's too important not to share. This feature has several purposes. The first one is obviously to support more types of fields. We looked at your project, and there is always a case when you have business data coming from an external source, or you want to pin a location on a map, or a customer needs a custom video player, and so on. Custom fields are the answer to your custom needs. They also improve the content editing experience by displaying the content differently in the administration panel. If you are migrating from an existing CMS, we know that most of the time you want to offer a similar user experience, something they are used to. With the custom fields, you will be able to reproduce a familiar content editing experience with Strapi. Finally, under the hood, the custom fields are a powerful way to aggregate APIs together. Imagine, you have a products field. The data is coming from a Shopify store. You pick a product from Shopify and you link it with an entry in Strapi. Once you fetch the entry, you will also be able to retrieve the data from Shopify and aggregate the data with a single API call. It will make front-end engineer lives easier and significantly speed up development. To make this new initiative a success, we need you. We just opened a new custom field request for comment, RFC, that describes in detail the scope of the first iteration. Any comment and help is welcome. It's now time to make even more announcements. I'll give the floor to Paridi, Senior Product Manager, to give more details about what's coming in the next version of Strapi.
Hello everyone, and thank you, Emily and Raf. I'm very excited about all the future customization capabilities that your team will bring to Strapi. Today, I'm thrilled to tease what's coming in Strapi 4.2. Let's get started with the very requested feature, the dark mode. This brand new version introduces a dark mode for those who prefer dark interfaces. You will be able to easily switch between the dark and the light mode through the user profile section in the administration panel. This new functionality also sets the foundation for more advanced and custom themes in the future. As we did on the Strapi design system, we made a lot of efforts to make it highly accessible for people with special needs by providing high contrasts. We reached a AA accessibility level. Strapi version 4.2 will also bring the most voted feature on our public roadmap, TypeScript support. As a developer, you will now be able to write and create lines of code using TypeScript files. All these files will be automatically compiled during the development phase. We updated the Webpack configuration and yarn develop command in our CLI to support this new feature natively. In case you want to update these configurations, you will be able to do so through a tsconfig.json configuration file. When we developed Strapi v4, we anticipated TypeScript support by introducing an internal typing system. This new TypeScript support relies on it, but it will also be very useful for schema and data migration. Regarding migration, we have very good news to share. We are pleased to announce the release of the migration guides from v3 to v4. As you may know, we made the choice to support only SQL databases for now on v4. For MongoDB users on v3, we will also have a dedicated guide for you to switch from a v3 MongoDB to a v3 SQL project coming very soon. Then, you will be able to follow v3 SQL to v4 SQL migration guide like the others. To make it easier and faster, especially for projects with a lot of data, we are working with our partner Notum to develop migration scripts and help make the process even easier. They should be ready by early April. We will let you know once they are ready. The new migration guide for SQL users is already available in the Strapi documentation. All these new features will be available in 2 weeks. We so look forward to hearing your feedback.
Thank you, Emily, Raf, and Paridi. I can't wait to see all the new integrations that the community will build thanks to custom fields and the extra scalability that TypeScript support will bring to Strapi. None of this would be possible without the contributions of everyone in the broader open source community. And for that, we are very grateful. To reiterate our honest commitment to open source, I'd like to introduce you to Derek Meafi. He will share our plans to improve the overall project governance and our support for community initiatives.
Thank you, Pierre. Hello, everyone. I'm Derek Mehaffey, a solutions engineer here at Strapi. Although I spend quite a lot of my time working with the Strapi community, where I originally started my journey with Strapi, like many of you, as a fellow member of the community, I wanted to share some very exciting news with you today. But first, we want to thank the people who built the software that enabled the creation of Strapi in the first place. We really are standing on the shoulders of giants with upstream open source projects such as Koa, Babel, Webpack, Storybook, React, and many others. Open source is truly what is making Strapi better through daily contributions, and although we are a venture capital-backed company, we care very much about open source governance and the collaboration with the broader Strapi community. In fact, transparency and care are two of our values that we try to live by in everything that we do. So today, we are excited to announce the creation of an independent, decentralized, community-led Strapi organization. Their goal is to provide value to Strapi users through the creation of well-maintained plugins, integrations, and tooling. This independent organization will maintain a community-elected council to prioritize goals and welcomes everyone interested in participating. And now I am extremely proud to introduce the first members of the Strapi community organization: Sasha, Ibo, Boaz, Maddie, Simon, and Vanessa. This initiative is totally independent from Strapi Incorporated, but we fully support it and very much think it can benefit the entire Strapi community. As we have seen in the very recent past, it can be very difficult to properly maintain packages without funding. To that end, we are happy to share that we are transferring ownership of the Strapi Open Collective to the Strapi Community Organization, along with its existing budget of $4,000 and all future donations made to the Strapi Open Collective. On top of that, Strapi is providing a $10 gift card to all of you, the StrapiConf attendees, so that you can decide what open source projects you would like to support, whether it goes directly to Strapi plugin creators, upstream projects, or downstream community projects. You should be receiving these gift cards in your email shortly. We fundamentally believe that your unique knowledge and crowdsourcing donation decisions will lead to more mediocratic and objective funding choices. Open Collective has been a pillar in helping fund open source projects and communities since 2015, and continues to help more and more people each year while focusing on sustainability of open source. This is why I'm extremely excited to introduce Pia, a co-founder and CEO of Open Collective.
Hi everyone, Pia Mancini here, co-founder and CEO of Open Collective. Thank you for having me. I am also co-founder and president of our sister non-for-profit, the Open Source Collective. The Open Source Collective is a non-for-profit working for the common interests of those who create and use open source software. And we really exist to promote a sustainable and healthy open source ecosystem and to support open source technology for the future. Just to give you some quick numbers, in 2021 we distributed about $12 million to around 3,000 open source projects around the world that we give fiscal sponsorship to. So essentially we interface between companies and open source communities to enable open source projects to receive and spend funding in full transparency. Working for your open source project should be as financially sustainable and rewarding as working for a corporation. We want to kind of break that dichotomy. And so for that, we need to ensure that enough money is flowing towards the ecosystem to pay maintainers a decent and comparable salary. And so while our strategy continues to be fiscal sponsorship and focusing on this program, to lower the barriers of entry for projects to receive funding in transparency. At a higher level, we are thinking about making 3 types of investments in the coming years. The first one is developing relationships with and between members of the community at large. We're going to invest in technologies that enable an ecosystem-wide approach to support the open source software instead of just being project-directed funding, which is what we do at the moment, and on tools and processes to better understand the impact of investing in open source. So I guess in this context, it's exciting for us to partner up with Strapi.js and to support this conf, because we want to see more companies or more open source projects that also became companies supporting the wider community. The gift card programs that we're setting up goes towards that. We want to kind of make sure that everyone, that we're enabling everyone to pay it forward. Okay, thank you for that. I hope you have a great conference, and yeah, bye.
As Derek and Pia mentioned, building Strapi in the open together with you all has always been important to us. We are excited to take the collaboration and open source support to the next level this year. Today, I'd like to introduce a very special project, something you've been waiting for years. Many of you, freelancers, digital agencies, startups, and enterprises often ask, do you plan to offer a hosted version of Strapi? You've shared dozens of requests on the forum and Discord. It has been upvoted almost 1,000 times on our public roadmap. As users of Strapi, many of you don't know how to deploy Strapi, or simply don't want to be in charge for deploying, securing, monitoring, and scaling your projects. Not every company can afford to have a DevOps team or take responsibility for ensuring the high availability of an application. Even if it is the case, waiting for the DevOps team might slow you down. Finding the right moment to start this initiative was the hardest part. To date, our answer has always been, not now, we first want to build a great CMS. Our focus has been on making the CMS better, adding more features, and hiring more people before introducing another product. As the CMS matured a lot, it's time for something new. So today, I'm very excited to share more details about the future product, Strapi Cloud. Our unique ambition behind Strapi Cloud is to provide the easiest way to deploy Strapi projects. The developer experience really matters here, and offering a seamless deployment process that requires absolutely no DevOps skills is our top priority. We choose a platform as a service approach to double down on what makes Strapi unique, its customization capabilities. Strapi Cloud will allow you to start a project locally, customize it according to your needs, version it through Git, and deploy it in seconds. We plan to offer automatic backups, a global and fast CDN, multi-database support, and more. All of these features will come incrementally. We also plan to offer a free tier so everyone can benefit from this frictionless experience. In terms of timeline, our plan is to enroll a limited number of users on the alpha version this year. We'll then launch a beta program with hundreds of users and partners. General availability is planned for 2023. We will share more details throughout the year. In the meantime, we invite everyone interested in being a beta tester to join the waitlist. Before we wrap up this keynote, I want to thank all the speakers for sharing their experience and Strapi knowledge with us. Please join me in giving them a special shout-out and a sign of appreciation in the chat. I also want to thank all the sponsors for their support and contribution to making this event a success. I invite you to visit their booth to learn more about how you can use their products and services together with Strapi. Thanks again for being part of the Strapi community. We are super grateful for all of your contributions, and we look forward to building Strapi faster together.